This fountain is perhaps best known as the backdrop for the movies Three Coins in a Fountain and La Dolce Vita. Our kids threw a lot of coins over their shoulders, and we hope that all their wishes come true. Makes you wonder just how much further that thing can lean before she won't be able to hold it up anymore. As the name Cinque Terre suggests, there are 5 lovely, beautiful cities on Italy's western coast that cascade down the cliffs toward the Mediterranean Sea. Although you can walk between each of the 5 cities, there's a train that runs, and it's a far quicker way to get between the cities. It's best to perhaps walk between one and ride to the rest. They're all very gorgeous and well worth the trip to see. Florence is a beautiful city and considered by many to be the artistic center of Italy. You can spend days touring its many museums, cathedrals, and other beautiful places of interest. In preschool at Park Montessori and ready to take on the world, still you get a few pointers from Big Brother. Even at this stage of your life, it was fun to watch your inquisitive mind develop. Well, son, the day has finally come when we must watch you leave the nest to soar on your own. Kyle has always been very close to his grandparents and was always happy when they showed up at his home. As docile a kid as you'd ever want to meet off the ice, when he laces up his skates, Kyle becomes a very aggressive player. Henry became heir to the throne when his older brother Arthur died in 1502 while their father, Henry VII, was still king. At age 18, Henry took the throne. Queen Elizabeth I's 45-year reign is generally considered one of the most glorious in English history. In 1689, Parliament declared that James had abdicated the throne by deserting his kingdom. William and Mary were offered the throne as joint monarchs. George III was the 3rd monarch of the House of Hanover and the first one to be born in England and use English as his first language. George III is widely remembered for 2 things: losing the American colonies and going mad. Victoria became queen because her 3 uncles, George IV, Frederick, Duke of York, and William IV, had no legitimate children who survived. The elder daughter of King George VI and Queen Elizabeth, Elizabeth II became queen at the age of Charles, Prince of Wales, is the heir apparent and eldest son of Queen Elizabeth II and Prince Philip. He is the longest-serving heir apparent in British history. This web-page style Yowbum is another example of the types of things you can do with Yowdy. You don't have to have a web page. You can make one, change it however you want, link it to your friends with the cloud, either with Dropbox or Google Drive or one of them, and all of your friends will have your latest information at their fingertips at all times in a web page style presentation. Sometimes life can be very hard, but I always tell everybody retirement really isn't everything it's cracked up to be. It's actually lots better. We're moving. Well, maybe not just yet, but Sharon and I have been looking seriously at buying a condo or a much smaller house than the one we're in right now. It'll save us a lot of time and agony working on the place as well as a bunch of money. So that's where we're headed right now. As with a ride on the Market Street trolley, a stroll through Chinatown is a must-do when visiting San Francisco. You just can't imagine the magnitude of these giants until you see one. Some years ago, this one had a cavern carved out of it large enough for a small car to drive through. Still, it stands today. A trip to San Francisco wouldn't be, well, a trip to San Francisco without taking a ride on the famous Market Street trolley. Together with Half Dome, this giant granite slab named El Capitan form the two most famous rock structures in Yosemite. Climbers come from around the world to test its vertical face. Sarah couldn't wait to catch up with Ace Young after the show. He and Diana DeGarmo were two of the American Idols in the show. In the closing number of Hair, the audience was invited onto the stage, and later, at the stage door, Ace recognized Sarah and posed for this picture with her. Perhaps best known for his roles in Disney's High School Musical series, Sarah was delighted to see that Corbin Bleu was cast as the lead in the Heights. She made sure to get a picture with him after the show. Although we didn't pay up to be on the ocean, we did have actually a more interesting view from our balcony. We could see the grounds as well as the ocean and these trees and listen to the many birds who nested there calling to each other. We had a great balcony for just sitting around, sipping our coffee, and watching the world go by every morning. Graduation from Ursuline Academy. A bittersweet moment as she says farewell to the school she had come to love. Still, she looks forward with high anticipation to the coming year at Ohio State. Out with the old and in with the new. Here, Sarah holds the sign that gets posted for every graduate along the drive into Ursuline Academy. For this picture, she donned her Ohio State shirt so everyone knows where she's coming from and going to. Packing up proved to be a bigger job than any of us thought. We finally gave up on cars and rented a van.